One country hasn't given in, though: Czechoslovakia. President Edvard Beneš has always tried to maintain cordial relations with the Soviet Union. Faced with Stalin's opposition to the Marshall Plan, a Czech delegation heads to the Kremlin to try and change his mind. But in vain. On his return, Foreign Minister Jan Masaryk says, "I left for Moscow as a minister of a sovereign state. I am returning as Stalin's stooge." Democrat ministers show their opposition to Stalin's stranglehold by resigning in February 1948. The communists aren't slow to react. They stir up the population and arm the workers' militias. 200,000 people take to the streets. A general strike is called. To avoid civil war, President Beneš has no choice but to accept the forming of a majority communist government led by Klement Gottwald, Secretary General of the Czech Communist Party. It's a coup d'etat.
Dnes nejsme více sirotky. Jsme členy velké slovanské rodiny v čele se Sovětským svazem. Toť síla, kterou na tomto světě nikdo nezdolá.
The repression soon follows. In March 1948, Jan Masaryk, one of the very few Democrats to have stayed in power, is found dead beneath the windows of his ministry. Was it suicide in protest at the communist coup? Or was it murder? Democracy itself has been assassinated. The communists are now running everything. President Beneš dies a few months later. Gottwald is elected president of the Republic. Czechoslovakia, too, disappears behind the Iron Curtain. All over the world, these violent seizures of power have got people worried. It's a worry that the French Communist Party and its leader, Maurice Thorez, do not share at all.
Oui, de tout notre cœur, nous proclamons notre amour ardent pour Staline et nous l'assurons de notre confiance inébranlable. Vive à jamais notre cher et grand Staline, vive le communisme!
The Prague coup, though, is not without consequences. With the Soviets so greedy, one thing's now clear: it's no longer possible to co-manage Germany with the USSR. Having combined together its zones of occupation, the West envisages the creation of an independent West Germany under the protection of Washington. In June 1948, it scraps the old currency and installs the Deutschmark. The Soviets refused to recognize the new currency and immediately hit back. On the 23rd of June 1948, they start cutting off all supply routes to West Berlin. No trains, no cars can get through. Stalin wants the whole city for himself. With no electricity, the factories are all shut down. The city's now blockaded off from the rest of the world. More than 2 million Berliners are in need of supplies, or else they may well starve. There's only one way to get supplies through to West Berlin and avoid them falling into the Soviets' hands. The United States and their allies organize a gigantic airlift. Hundreds of aircraft drop food, equipment, and raw materials: wheat, coal, petrol, medicines. Thousands of tons a day get through, right under the noses of the Soviets. For the first time, the West is openly confronting the East. Many observers see this crisis as the prelude to a Third World War. The planes skim so low over the buildings that there are some terrible crashes. The West abandoned Prague. It's not going to let go of Berlin. This act of solidarity is quickly seized on by the US media. The whole of Hollywood heads straight for Berlin. Bob Hope does some clowning. The famous composer Irving Berlin comes to lend his support to the pilots of the free world.
Operation Victuals, we'll soon be on our way with coal and wheat and hay, and everything's okay. Operation Victuals, as in the sky we go, we won't forget to blow a kiss to Uncle Joe. No one here belittle.
Just 3 years ago, Allied bombers were pounding Berlin.
Everything's okay.
Today, they're feeding it. People line the runways and call out to the pilots, "Don't abandon us. If we lose our freedom, we'll never get it back." The crews drop tiny parachutes loaded with chocolate bars, thus earning the nickname the Candy Bombers. The young Berliners are beside themselves with happiness. The American pilots are supplying the city not just with food, but with hope too.
Auf dem Rhein-Main-Flughafen herrscht ausgesprochener Hochbetrieb, seitdem der Luftverkehr ganz plötzlich mit neuen Kräften unterstützt wurde. Hier bespricht eine Gruppe qualifizierter Jungpiloten die Operationen des Tages.
Mensch, bei dem Wetter willst du starten? Na klar, Mensch, die Berliner warten auf mir.
The blockade drags on for 11 long months. During that time, 278,000 Allied flights provide the city with all it needs to survive. Even little beetles are making happy landings. In the skies, the battle is on, but things are hotting up on land as well. On the 6th of September 1948, the communists attempt to take over all official buildings. 3 days later, a mass protest, 300,000 strong, gathers in front of the Reichstag. City Mayor Ernst Reuter speaks aloud what all Berliners are thinking in their hearts.
Volk von Berlin heute ruft die ganze Welt. Ihr Völker der Welt, ihr Völker in Amerika, in England, in Frankreich, in Italien, schaut auf diese Stadt und erkennt, dass ihr diese Stadt und dieses Volk nicht preisgeben dürft. Völker der Welt, tut auch ihr eure Pflicht.
Protesters take down the red flag that's flying over the Brandenburg Gate. Violent confrontations break out with the East German police. But the West Berliners stand firm. Their city becomes a bastion of liberty on the right side of the curtain. Germans are no longer thought of as former Nazis, but as the potential victims of Stalinist totalitarianism. The Don't Fraternize order of 1945 is long gone now. Germany has become one of the Allies. The occupiers of yesteryear are today's liberators. The airlift has sealed the friendship between victors and the vanquished. Stalin made a big mistake. Far from getting rid of the Americans, he has driven the Western Zone right into the arms of Uncle Sam. The blockade leads the West to enter into a defensive alliance. This time it's not against Germany, but against the USSR. On the 4th of April 1949, 12 countries become member states of NATO. A part of Western Europe thus places itself under the protection of the US nuclear umbrella.
Uhr. Die Schranken öffnen sich. Die Blockade ist zu Ende. Wagen für Wagen rollt auf der Straße, die 10 Monate lang ohne Leben war.
Stalin lifts the blockade on the 12th of May 1949. Both people and goods now have free passage in and out of the city. In the streets, they're all cheering. We're still alive, they cry. It's a victory for the Western Bloc and a great relief for the people of Berlin. A few days later, a democratic West Germany is born on the territory of the three Western zones, the Federal Republic of Germany. But the ogre in the Kremlin's not done yet. In September 1949, the first Soviet nuclear test takes place. The USSR now has its own atomic bomb. One month later, in October, the GDR, the German Democratic Republic, is born. A communist Germany on the Soviet side of the curtain, with its own institutions and its own political police that revives unpleasant memories. The brown shirts have given way to the red peril. In 1945, a continent emerged from the war bloody but unbowed and full of hope. 4 years later, a new era is beginning, one in which peace and prosperity must live alongside the fear of a nuclear apocalypse. It's 1949, the year the world is divided in two. And the truce of the post-war years will have lasted not very long at all.